Alright, this video I want to make, I think the best time to make this video is now, because what I'm about to talk about is energy. And I think in the past 6 months, should I say God or the universe has been trying to give me, now please forgive the setting because I wanted to park the car and make this video, but I just felt like the time might just go by, you know. Now let's go straight into it. Why do I think it's important to talk about energy? Energy is what we use to do work. So I'm driving. If I don't have energy, I can't drive. I'll be too tired, right? If I call a friend to speak, if I'm too tired, I can't speak, right? Our brain uses energy to process information, but it goes way beyond that. So the particular direction of energy I'm coming from is a direction I think that if I find a way to communicate it to not only myself, but whoever is willing to listen, can change somebody's life. I believe that the whole world, the whole universe is controlled by energy. So, from what I've learned over the past few months, there are actually 5 specific categories of prosperity, each of them powered by their own type of energy. Let me start with the most familiar one, which is physical. So physical energy is, so if I'm running now, I'm generating kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is energy of motion. So if I punch somebody, I'm using the force of my moving hand to damage something. The energy I use can break something. That's kinetic energy, that's physical. There's also other forms of energy that, for the purpose of this video, I'll classify as physical. My eye is not looking at the camera because I'm driving. Now, another type of energy within the physical is chemical energy, right? So this kind of energy, now, so in your body, if you eat bread, for example, and the bread breaks down, bread contains carbohydrates and a whole lot of other things. The carbohydrates break down into glucose, and then from there you get the most basic. So for the human body, the most finite form of energy, the tiniest form of energy that our brains can even work with, is called ATP. Now this energy can be used to do work. You can use it to pray when you're praying. You can use it to do many things. To even when you're fighting, you fight with that energy. When you're reading, your brain consumes glucose to process information and store them in the right places. You know, when you're thinking, you're using energy. That's why if you overthink, or maybe you worry about something, you notice that you wake up tired or you wake up late, energy can be physical. Then the second one is spiritual energy. In my opinion, this is the most important one. Now, for any system to function, that system needs energy. You have to get energy in one way or the other, either from physical things or maybe other forms. I believe that the strongest energy one can have is spiritual energy. Why do I think so? Spiritual energy is a direct connection to the forces that keep the universe organized. So if you take energy from any other form within the universe, you're still getting a very powerful form of energy, right? But the energy from the spiritual, whether evil, whether Satan or God or whatever you worship, if you find a way to tap into it directly, that energy, I believe, is superior because it comes directly from the soul of what organizes every other form of energy. Every other thing is like all the physical energy, you know, the carbon cycle, the water cycle, revolves around that spiritual energy. It means different things to different people. Now, the third type of energy is mental. This one comes from accomplishment. So when you know what they say, that you don't need motivation to start doing something, but you need action. So when you act on something and you keep winning at that thing, you start to get more mental energy. Mental energy is the energy that comes to you from knowing that you can do more, you know. But mental energy is also can also come from other forms of energy, right? It's kind of energy you use to make change in your life and other people's lives. Now, the fourth form of energy is relational energy. In my opinion, right, this energy is the second after spiritual energy, because relational energy comes from the kind of energy boost you get when you interact with people you belong with. So when you do things with your tribe, when you do activities with maybe your wife, your friends, or your communities, when you give back to people, when you amplify people, that gratitude you feel, that sense of responsibility that boosts your morale and makes you do more, that energy is mental energy. It's spiritual and mental, but mostly mental in my opinion. Now, why do I think it's the second most important? The reason I think so is because humans are made in the light of God. And why do I believe that? By God, I don't mean Christ only, to be honest. Whatever you believe in that controls and organizes the universe in a sustainable form is God to you, right? So when you tap into relational energy, let's say now you're feeling so sad or something and you hang out with your friends, this is when you come back, you feel very loud and capable, you feel very much alive. That energy is because humans, by the virtue of our consciousness, other than all these other energy forms in the world, like grass that goats eat, meat that lions eat, we have the ability to get direct echoing from the spiritual world, right? Whether we are listening or not. Because of that, when you interact with, so that's why you say in Igbo, there's something we say, Iwebiike. When so many humans come together, not only physically they are strong, but because they think two heads are better than one. That's what it means. The more heads the better. Because humans are very much directly connected. In fact, human beings, I believe, are fragments of the universe, but that's another different conversation. Human beings are very close to God. So when you interact with people, your energy boost is way more. That's why it's important. Even in the Bible, for Christians, it says, do not neglect the gathering of the brethren. You have to make sure you make time to commune with people like you, right? Now, that's for spiritual energy. Now, let me state a very particular law. I think that's the fourth one. I'm trying to remember the final. Yes, the final one is financial energy. Now, by finance, I don't mean only physical cash. I mean things that like liquid finances and illiquid finances. So real estate, money, connections fall under relational energy, right? Like I wanted to say connections with people in high places, but that's relational. That's energy you tap into by knowing people or communing with people, which is second only to spiritual energy. Now, financial energy is very important because you can use that energy to do a lot of things for different people. This video is already 7 minutes, so let me jump into the crux of the conversation. Why do I think energy is important? I think energy is very important because of this one single law in physics. Those who are physicists, whether at some point in your life, would know this law, the law of thermodynamics, the first law of thermodynamics. In my opinion, I cannot prove it now, but I can tell you that law is the most important law in this whole world. It's more important than the law of gravity. That law is this: energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but can be transformed from one form to another. Why is this law important? A lot of the times, we wonder why does this person have money? Why do these people have this and this person doesn't have it? How do you create wealth? How do you have so much, like there's this person I saw online the other day, some British Nigerian singer. She looks 32, but she's 60 something. What kind of sorcery is that? How does she manage her food to make sure that she looks this way? All these things have to do, you don't create all these resources, all these beauties that you want, the money, the looks, the friends, the whatever. You can't create them from scratch. Nothing is created from scratch. Energy can only be converted from one form to another. So whatever is going wrong, or whatever is lacking, or whatever is super abundant, it has to do with how the universe handles this law. So this law is not just a random law. The world we live in, I believe that God commands this law, but for everybody that exists, whatever you want, the question you need to ask yourself is, this thing I want, somebody else has it. Why does the universe allow this person to accumulate it? Do you get? So let me go into more examples now. When you eat food, right? When you have food to eat, in terms of, let's say you go to the market and you buy raw meat, right? That meat was not created by anybody from the ground. That meat was converted from a cow. The cow, both the cow's spiritual energy of being alive, having life inside it, and physical energy of creating that meat was converted into something you can consume for your own energy. But even at that, the amount of energy, chemical energy your body would use to change it to what you can utilize is too much. So you go and buy another kind of energy, which is gas, which has been converted from petroleum, and you use it to cook that cow to a point where you can eat the cow, right? I'm coming to something. Now, when you use that energy to cook the cow, the only reason why you're not complaining that you're wasting your gas or that you wasted your money to buy gas is because when you're done cooking that cow and you eat it, that energy amplifies the energy you already have. So the reason why the universe doesn't allow the cow to find some supernatural way to protect itself from you who wants to kill and eat it is because it knows and allows that, because it knows that you who will eat the cow will convert that cow into a more valuable form of energy, mental energy. The people who construct buildings, make cars, take care of climate change, take care of other people, they use energy to do it, but they need to eat. So the universe, in summary, allows the accumulation and transforming of energy from people, organisms, systems that are not utilizing those energies to amplify other organisms, and it takes those energies and transforms them into forms and environments where they can nurture those organisms, systems, and people who can use energy, who have learned how to use energy to amplify the energy of other organisms and systems. Because there's something called a closed system in physics, a system that doesn't need somebody to keep. So if you need to keep, if God needs to keep coming down, those who are Christians, if you notice, after the Old Testament, God did not come to talk too much again. He let the world run on its own, and that's a closed system. You need to know that what you've created can run on its own. So that's why energy is very important, to know how the universe allots energy. Now, let me give an example that is very specific that I can relate to, so that many of us will understand what I'm trying to say here. When you use that gas, your body converts it to so many forms of energy, not only chemical energy from the food, but also mental energy. You feel more satisfied and you feel more motivated to now go to your table and work and create something that will benefit somebody else. But also, then the person that sold the meat to you, let's say it's a very big farm, gets thousands of naira or dollars from you and so many more people. Why? You come out tomorrow and the person is very rich, and you're like, why is this man so rich? Because he has found a way to take one energy form and convert it into an amplified form. So you have to go and kill a cow. You have to take that cow and find a way to sell it, right? Make it clean enough. And then when people buy it from you and the cow is fresh and they love it, it gives them energy to do work. So the universe will reward you by so much money. So everything comes down to service. The universe allots energy to people and organisms that know how to take energy and amplify it. Think about it. Mark Zuckerberg took a very small amount of energy in his dorm room as an undergraduate and created Facebook. He didn't need $100 million to create something crazy like that. So the universe saw that this guy knows how to use something so small and transform it into something so big. He gave him billions, managed this, because the universe does not want to interfere. So that's why, let me bring this down to another dimension, fitness. Let's say you're fat like me now, you're trying to build more muscle. What's the difference between fat and muscle? A molecule of fat is designed to hold energy. So fat is selfish, while glucose is selfless. I'll explain what I mean. And protein is also selfless. So when you have fat in your body, right, that fat is what I mean by selfish is, how do I explain this now? You're storing what you're only using for yourself. Because what fat is designed for is to save for the rainy day. So when we were in the bushes, we will store fat so that when things became too cold and we can't hunt, we can feed on our fat, because each molecule of fat can give you way more energy than one molecule of glucose. Glucose is more common. When you eat sugar, you're eating a lot of glucose. It's easy for the body to digest. The body doesn't use enough energy. But to break down fat, the body has to spend more energy, so it doesn't bother. That's why even when you're big, your body keeps telling you, eat more sugar, eat more sugar. But what does the universe think about this? In the beginning, the universe is okay because it believes that you're a human being, you have consciousness, so you have value to bring. You have amplifiable value. You can go out into the world and help 10 people become better, and they can help 10 people. The universe wants multiplicity. Just like God told Abraham, go into the world and multiply. The universe rewards those who understand how to harness all 5 forms of value, or maybe one of them. Understand it well and use it to better the life. By better the life, I mean amplify and expand other value forms for other organisms and other human beings. It will give you much more value, you know. So when you store fat and you keep eating and you keep storing fat, the universe starts to realize that this one is not moving, he's sedentary, and he keeps eating all the energy in the environment. It will start to slow down the way you get it. That's why when you're fat, your body starts becoming like difficult to carry. You're slower. You can be more mentally intelligent because you keep eating sugar that helps you think quickly without having to spend much energy to break it down. But you're slower, you know. So what that causes you to do is you want to be fast. And what makes you faster, apart from sugar? Going to the gym. And when you go to the gym, you're using kinetic energy to generate chemical energy by breaking down those fats. That's why when you start a keto diet, for example, they tell you, if you go to the gym for the first 1 week, don't eat sugar directly before going. Why? Because your body will use the sugar. Your body doesn't want to break down fat. So that energy in you that is stored as fat is a very selfish form. So on one hand, the universe wants you to survive as an individual. But on the longer term, it wants to make sure that the ones that are surviving are those that are way more interested in helping others. Now, compare fat to muscle. Muscle is an energy of kindness. That's why you see it's a selfless energy, an energy of service. So when you have a lot of muscle, you're out there lifting things. People know that you're capable of helping. If there's a fight, you can come in. So the universe will see that this guy is building himself to be physically strong, which means you're converting all the fat into another form of more energy that can do more work. Fat can't lift things. Fat is for cold storage. Fat is like a cup, but muscle is like a lever. It can lift things like gear. So when you start converting your fat to muscle, the universe starts giving you more people. Girls start coming close to you. Why? Because the universe is saying that this one is making himself into an organism that can move other organisms from a weaker point to a more expanded point. So when girls come to you, it means that the universe wants you to multiply. That's the biological explanation. It wants this one to give birth to more children that will learn how to build things that involve strength. The same happens with money. Money you can't chase money. Money comes to you. Now, obviously, I'm not a billionaire, but I'm telling you the principles I believe can actually help us this year to understand what's going on in our lives. Whatever you're getting is what. There's a friend that told me last year, I found it very corny of him, but when I went to him, it made sense. He said, bro, let me tell you, whatever you're getting is what you deserve. Whether you're complaining that you're having pains, maybe emotional pains, physical pains, financial difficulty, what you're getting is what you deserve. Now, if you're a child and your parents are poor, you didn't do anything wrong, but it's still what you deserve by being the son of that person. It is just what it is. So energy goes directly to where it is amplified. The universe wants you to become a person of service, a person that helps. That's why you look at Tunde Ednut and Davido. They never stop growing. Why? Because the relational energy that Davido and Tunde Ednut have, which is their followers and massive connections that want to please them, they keep using it to amplify other people, and the universe will give them. Move from there, go into government. If you come to North America, go and check the laws guiding real estate. Companies. So if you're an employee working for a company to earn your paycheck per paycheck, obviously when you earn paycheck, you don't have money to even give anybody. So the universe knows that this one is, except you work in the Big Four or a doctor or something like that. But most paychecks don't give you a lot. So the universe, even though it's like, yeah, I want this person to have this paycheck to take care of himself, the number of organisms, the number of humans you can expand from your paycheck is little. So naturally, the universe commands everything. That's why, like I said in the beginning, spiritual energy is very important, the most important. Because if you're engaged directly with God, God can force the universe to give you energy even when you haven't earned it. But the universe alone is not kind. The universe cannot. That's why miracles come in. God can make the universe give you energy you haven't earned. You understand? When God comes into the picture. But naturally, if you come to these kind of countries, it's the same law of thermodynamics. You can't create wealth from scratch. Wealth goes to those who are making life way more easier by giving people, saving people time. Look at Uber, saving us time from having to wait for taxis. God, the universe will give them so much resource. Relational in terms of the A players on the team, financial in terms of the open stock markets, and other people that invest directly.
In 600 meters, use the left 2 lanes to turn slightly left onto Queen Elizabeth Way, QEW. Signs for East Hamilton, Niagara.
Sorry for my Google map. Mental in front of better ideas to improve the business. So if you look
use the left 2 lanes to turn slightly left onto Queen Elizabeth Way, QEW. Signs for East Hamilton, Niagara.
Those businesses, such businesses don't suffer.
Continue on Queen Elizabeth Way for 11 kilometers.
Gives them a whole lot of what they need. Why? Because they expand others. So if you look at, I was distracted by my Google map, sorry. If you look at a country like Canada, for example, when you get into real estate and you build houses, affordable houses, the government seriously reduces your tax and increases your tax benefit. When you build a corporation, do you know what happens when you build a corporation instead of a sole proprietorship or being an employee? The universe realizes this one is creating a separate entity that can run on its own. Remember, the universe is obsessed with self-sufficiency. It wants people and organisms that can collaborate together and make forms, like make energy keep, that there's these systems called closed systems, like I already said. When you create a closed system that can run on its own, the universe will reward you extremely. Corporations are closed systems. They have their own names. Corporations can go to court. So you've created something that can multiply money, which is a form of energy, and make the life of other people, like employees, better. So the universe will give you so much more benefit by being the one or the group of people that brought about that kind of an entity. So let me summarize this video by saying, first of all, I need to make another video that is way more organized than this one, but I just felt like making this raw video to put it out there. After all, I made myself a promise that this year I'm going to make one, put out the energy that is in me, no matter how unrefined it might be for now, or maybe unorganized. As you can see, I'm driving and making this video. We have a responsibility as organisms, not only humans, to take the energy we have within us, our intelligence, which is a resource. We have to synthesize it better. So the reason why my video, I haven't done editing, and this video might not get too many views because I need to sit down and cook the video. So this video is like raw meat. So typically, if I had a lot of time on my hands, I should sit down, edit this video, organize these thoughts a little better. But I'm putting them out there because instead of waiting for cooked meat, it's better to eat raw meat and survive, because without meat at all, you won't survive. So, but then somebody who sits down to actually buy gas in that way, maybe spend money on an editing software and edit this video, for example, will get way more views. And I won't complain. Why? Because the person has spent money on gas to cook. That's why a friend of mine told me, bro, do you know I spent $3,000 to learn how to trade crypto? So when people are asking me, why do you make $1 million a year, from crypto trading, I'm like, do they think I learned it for free? That thing shocks me, but it's the way energy works. The universe gives resources to those who know how to amplify it for other people. If you amplify it for only yourself, it will still support you, because the universe wants you to survive. Because when you survive, you can learn and change. It's easier to change an existing organism than to give birth. Do you know how long it takes a baby to grow? Or maybe even a baby rat itself. It looks cheap, but it takes a long time. So the universe will rather wait for you by self-sustaining you than trying to delete you or something. So the universe is actually kind in that way. What I hope this video will achieve for you is this, for us is this. This year, less complaining, more studying. Understand yourself. If your business, your salary is so small, you probably haven't refined yourself. You know, this is not an advice. I'm not here to advise anybody, but this is a call to awakening. You should probably buy a book and read about how the human mind works. If you don't have a spiritual anchorage, maybe even if you're a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian or you worship Ifa, find a way to anchor yourself to something spiritual. That is the most undiluted form of energy, because it's only the spiritual that can command the universe to thwart its laws. Other than that, you're dealing with other aggressive organisms in the fight for energy. You understand? Secondly, everything boils down to sustenance.
In 3 kilometers, use the right 2 lanes to take the Red Hill Valley Parkway
Everything boils
exit.
down to sustenance. If whatever you're doing, you feel like this is benefiting only me. In fact, if you're depressed or you're sad or you're not making progress or you're poor or you're broke or you're not, the last year was not too successful for you, please hurry up and find a person, maybe a child or a grandma in the village or something. Pick up one responsibility. It has been proven scientifically that this cures depression. And now I'm telling you why that is the case. Once you begin to amplify other people or other organisms, once you start to sacrifice yourself. Now remember, when you kill a cow, you spill blood, you sacrifice that energy to transform it into a better energy. A cow cannot design a car. A cow cannot build a city. So you kill that cow to sacrifice it for a king, a human, to feed and build more ranches that millions of cows can benefit from. Jesus came and died for our sins. Why did he have to die? The eternal, the spirit, so I'm a Christian, of course, so I believe in the tripartite nature of God, God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God himself, the most powerful energy form in existence, had to transform
In 800
the whole
meters,
energy
use the right 2 lanes to take the Red Hill Valley Parkway exit.
into the physical form and literally die to now give us salvation. That's the only way we'll be purified enough. Now, but even at that, each of us have to understand that it takes sacrifice to make energy worth it. So this year, instead of making only goals that would change your physique to look, the reason you are not losing weight is because
Use the right 2 lanes to take the Red Hill Valley Parkway exit.
Now, me, I have not lost weight though, and I'm still working on my health and everything. But I can tell you for a fact, the reason why...
Continue for 2 kilometers.
The reason why we've not lost weight or we've not made all that money is because we are trying to be Obi Kubanas. But we don't ask ourselves, who are the people Obi Kubana is amplifying? Who are the people Davido is amplifying? How can I only earn 50k, but is there a person in this life I can start giving 5k every month? Not because I want the universe to suddenly make me have 5 billion. No, but because that's why you have to find somebody you like, or a family you like, or a cause you like, and start pouring into that cause. For example, now, this year, by God's grace, I want to start paying tithes in my own way. Do you understand? And to expand my charity budget, no matter how small. I found out that this is the way to play your role, and the universe will see you. I jumped something. Now, when I was talking about companies, if you go and research the kind of money that companies that build houses cheaply make in North America, it will shock you. If you go and research the difference in tax that corporations pay, it will shock you, because they create entities that steadily and sustainably amplify the energy and the time of other people. Now, why is time important? Time is like a field, like a football field. And the energy game occurs inside the field of time. Time itself is a resource, but it's not a resource.
In 600 meters, use the right lane to take the Barden Street exit.
Time is not energy. It is the field, it is the medium, it is the arena in which the energy game is played. So if you don't have a lot of energy, but you're on the game of trying to multiply more energy, God,
use the right lane to take the Barden Street exit.
The universe now can give you people or organisms or systems that can help you, even if it's not to multiply your energy directly.
In 300 meters, turn right onto Barden Street East.
And if your time is amplified, the little energy you have
at the light, turn right onto Barden Street East.
Has more forms it can take. Do you understand? So let me cut this video here by saying everything comes down to service. Those who serve the purpose of others and make others way more powerful will become powerful.
In 400 meters, turn left onto Woodward Avenue.
We really rise by lifting others. Nobody is more favored than the other. Now, you might say, but some people were born rich, meaning that they were born with financial energy, so much financial energy. But if they are not careful, go and check it. More than 80%, according to research, of all inheritances are lost within the next decade.
At
Why?
the light, turn left onto Woodward Avenue, then turn right onto Melvin Avenue.
Because the people that understood energy transformation, that created that wealth, maybe their grandfathers that initially created that wealth in the beginning, those ones understood that it took creating value. But those that inherited the wealth, they just keep using the wealth to buy cars for the singular individual.
At the light, turn right onto Melvin Avenue, then your destination will be on the right.
Forgetting that you, as an organism, as an individual organism, you are not that important to the universe. So when you keep spending that inheritance, it will disappear because you're not amplifying anybody with it. So this year, let us pay attention. When you're feeling unvitalized, you're not feeling like your energy is up, you're not feeling like you have enough money, ask yourself, who am I
Your
helping?
destination is on the right.
You understand? Who am I improving? Who am I building? Which people am I pouring my mental energy, my intellectual energy, my financial energy? Who am I building? If you don't have anyone you're building, actually, you need to sort it out. So, God bless you. This video is probably the most unorganized video I've ever made, but I'm going to post it, and whatever views come from it, I will accept it, because I could have gotten home before my classes tonight and made time to edit this video properly. But here is for energy. Raw meat better than cooked meat, better than none. So please go ahead into your 2026, pick up a charity budget, draw out a plan, find people, not only financial charity. What do you know that you're not sharing because you're not willing to? So by me making this video, there's a high chance that some of my friends or some of my classmates or my parents will see this, and my parent will see this and say, what kind of video is this? This boy cannot buy camera, he can't afford whatever, he can't even organize his thoughts into a well-edited video. But that is the sacrifice. All those things are going to definitely happen because this video is very tacky, you know. But if Christ was considering what will happen if he died, what if I don't wake up on the third day? What if, I don't know, maybe he won't come. Even John 12:27, he had that concern. Father, can this cup be taken away from me? But he went ahead and he did it. I think he did it perfectly, but even if he was going to do it imperfectly, because think about it, it would have been better to have been handed over by an enemy, but a friend handed him over. That was an imperfect, I don't know, but he did it nonetheless. So you find a charity budget, find a pen and paper, find out how you can give from the spiritual knowledge you have, the mental knowledge you have, the financial knowledge you have, the relationships you have, you know, like in the past, sorry, I'm wrapping up now. In the past 1 year, at least 3 people or 4 have reached out to me that I didn't know and said, somebody gave me your number, I heard you're in Canada, can you help me with the details of how to come to Canada? Normally, I don't even like chatting a lot, I don't like making a lot of phone calls. I would not ignore you, but I may not give you that time. When they now mention, oh, Obina gave me your number, Edward gave me your number, this person gave me your number, your sister gave me your number, I'm now calm, because the person is enjoying the other person's relational resources. And because of that, I will help the person come to Canada, and the person will be amplified. He will never forget that person that referred him. It's all about amplifying others. When you use gas to cook, you're spending money to buy gas and you don't eat gas. Why are you not angry to pay money? Because gas gives you energy that converts something you already have into more gold. If you use $5,000 to start a business and you start making $20,000, it's because you created value. That's why you see fraud, politicians are still, those ones, I don't know what to say, because they are not giving any value and they are taking multiples of value away, but it doesn't last. So be blessed by the universe and whatever you believe in. May this year be a year where you understand your own purpose and how to give value to the environment around you. Bye.